So I went into Best Buy tonight and was looking for a laptop, and there was about 30% of the staff that they normally keep, most likely because of COVID-19 and the shortness of being able to have the appropriate amount of staff that's needed to function in a store of that magnitude. And as I was trying to get help, looking for a laptop, a few other items, I got to talking with one of the guys there, and I said, well, let me look at a camera as well. And I'm looking at cameras, and I realized that there was not one camera in stock. And I said, well, why don't you have any cameras? And he said, well, due to COVID-19, we only get 2 or 3 cameras shipped to us, something ridiculous per month. And it just kind of hit me, and I thought, well, everywhere I've gone, I've been on the road for about 3 days. There's no staff, shortage of this. I was even in a restaurant 2 days ago, and they said, we don't have onion rings. There's been a shortage of onions. And I just about fell out of my chair, because I'm like, now it's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. I said, well, is there a shortage on French fries? Can I have French fries? And he was like, oh no, we have French fries. But I just thought to myself, everything is a shortage in the name of the virus or the current state of the working force in America and throughout the world. And the thing that bothers me the most is we don't make anything in America anymore. And that leads me to the next point, which I was going to get at, is I was driving in some weird town, not a weird town, but a small town in Louisiana, and I saw in this, looked like an abandoned warehouse, and it said rock climbing. And I just laughed, because it was not a rock climbing facility. It wasn't your traditional rock climbing facility. It was like a warehouse that maybe somebody potentially turned into a rock climbing facility. But in an ideal situation, it probably would not been the kind of warehouse you use for a rock climbing facility, at least from what I've seen over the years. And I thought to myself, well, here's a guy trying to create a job and an income because we don't make anything. And that's really the point of what I was going to talk about, is that we don't make anything. So now America's on this full-blown creative tip where we have to create how we communicate to each other to sound like we're doing a job better than what we are. So we become masters of communication, because, if a person has a job where there's really no work to do, they got to overly communicate things to make it look like they're working. Then the people who are working with their hands or doing physical labor typically have to do way more than they should to be able to get the job, because of the competitiveness of those who are doing the same thing. And then there's those who are trying to sell products that aren't being made, and they're definitely not being made in America. So they're kind of twiddling their fingers because there's a shortage of inventory, from cars to, now what I learned today, stereos and receivers are on shortage. There's just, the list goes on. And all of it really comes down to, we spend millions of dollars, billions of dollars on entertainment, structures and places we live in. But as far as building factories and spending billions and billions of dollars on stuff that we could actually make here in America, I don't know if that's going forth. but it doesn't appear to seem like it's going forth. There's billions of dollars allocated for prisons and locking people up, and I just feel like we should be pouring billions and billions of dollars into education and also educational tools to help train people to build things in the factory that we use for daily use, like making plastics and making tools and making silverware, making car products, and just the tools and stereos and TVs. But what I'm afraid of is that the rest of the world has advanced so much in technology and in the ability to make things that we can't even have people smart enough to make the things that we use from a technological standpoint. So we're in a real pickle here, because I have no idea how to take a Galaxy 20 and take the screen off and resolder some chips and put different hardware in it to make it work. I have no clue. And quite frankly, I don't really know anybody else who can do that either. There happens to be a couple people in my mother's neighborhood that could fix phones and do some things with the newer technology. But as far as your average American being able to take a TV that's modern and fix it or build it, or be able to just do anything involving today's technological advancements, yet alone build it, we're not making it. So what am I getting at? What is the point I'm trying to make? Well, if we're not making, then that pushes us into a service category. And what do you mean? Well, we become the masters of service, taste testers. We could tell you all about your product, and we could taste it, we could use it, we could play with it, but that's all we can do, because we can't make it. We're not growing the chickens. We're not making the ovens that the chickens cook in. Hell, we're not even putting together the materials to catch the chicken or clean the chicken, or the knives or the preparation tools to do it. Hell, we might not even have the seasonings to cook the chicken. We don't make the pots for the chickens to cook in, or the ovens. We don't make the napkins or the plates or the pans or the forks, the knives, the spoons, or the hardware to eat the chicken. We're not even making the trash bags to put the chicken that you don't eat in afterwards.